Can't you see? Thank you. Nice. Thank you very much.
Once so proudly
We hail
at the
twilight's last gleaming. Thank you very much.
broad stripes
And bright stars through the perilous fight.
over the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets
Red glare,
bursting in air.
Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Through the night, that
But
our flag was still there.
Everyone sing with me, please.
Oh, say does that
star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. We're not done. We are not done. It is Tuesday. Cords Willie, what's up, and Rumble? Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is British song FO3.
and the rockets
Monetized. Don't care. We're doing it. Hey, Arizona, nice. You know we're doing it, people. Can't get enough. We're gonna get through this hurricane together. We will do it. Beautiful. Thank you. This is, thank you. This is the Derek O'Shea Show. Welcome to the revolution. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Derek O'Shea What? What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show. Hope you guys are having a great day. It's Tuesday. We are making it through the week. It's been a great week for me. I hope it's been good for you, Cords. I hope it's been good for you, man. Yes. I start the show with the national anthem every time because we're just getting amped. I don't think there is a better national anthem out there, period. I will fight anyone to the death over that, especially as we have freaking World Cup soccer coming down our pipe sooner than later. You got to get your American flag pride on because we are going to beat England into submission. It is Tuesday. We are live and we are living the dream currently. But I saw the story right out of the get-go and I just thought I had to mention it. It's just so silly. We're just in a very silly time period of our lives where people are just saying things willy-nilly. As Chelsea Clinton claims her family is the reason that Fox News was created. These people are so arrogant. Chelsea Clinton claimed during a recent interview that her family was the reason that Fox News was created, LOL, arguing that the network founder, Rupert Murdoch, had seen an opportunity and a market for attacks against them. Could you imagine if Fox News' entire network was created on the basis of just attacking the Clintons as if they're not warranted any of these attacks? Oh, you are. Trust me. Clinton and her mother, former Secretary Hillary Clinton, spoke with entertainment magazine Variety about the new Apple TV Plus venture. Tiger Man, what's going on? I hope you're doing fan-freaking-tastic. Aren't you in Florida? Got seen a wide-ranging future interview that was published on Tuesday. Your family was the first great target of Fox News. The interview prompted. We were the reason that Fox News was created because Rupert Murdoch recognizes a great opportunity. Maybe Maybe that's true. Oh, also, by the way, people on YouTube, I've been getting messages from people saying that they are chatting with me and I'm not responding. There are some... I do not know what's going on because I try to respond to every chat I see because I don't want this to be one of those kind of shows where you just sit and listen. I want it to be communal. So I don't know what's going on. Because sometimes, like, I think YouTube just plays with me sometimes. Tiger Man, you're all ready for the storm? Good, man. Good, I hope so. I went through a Category 3 hurricane once in South Carolina, and that was interesting. But I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Always feel free to jump on Rumble because Rumble just allows more freedom of speech. So there's that. And I like, seriously, I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I have no idea. People say that they chat with me and I just don't say anything to them. So I swear, I try to respond to almost every chat I see, unless it's like my chat is blowing up and I'm struggling trying to figure out what's going on. But I swear, it's not me. It's not me being a douche. I will tell you when I'm being that person. Yeah, Cord says no problems with that on Rumble. All right, so there's Hillary Clinton's little moment where she's obsessed with herself. So let's check in on Daddy Santis. See what's going on with Florida. But Tiger Man, stay safe down there, man. Don't be like don't be like most of my southern relatives who are like, "Ooh, hurricane! I'm gonna go out and check it out." That's how people die. Don't do that.
For us inside the Emergency Operations Center in Tallahassee, and she's joined by the governor. Hi, Mitty.
Hi, Daddy.
Hey, good afternoon, and that's exactly right. Thank you for joining us, Governor. How are you?
We're working hard.
And, you
can always tell a new reporter, how are you? What a silly question. How are you doing? How are the kids?
been traveling across the state, visiting these EOCs in cities across the state where we anticipate them being the hardest hit. What have you learned so far, Governor?
Well, people are preparing. Floridians are taking it seriously. And as you know, with these weather...
Is that true, Tiger Man? Are you taking it seriously as a Florida man yourself? By the way, if I'm ever responding to chats and you don't see them, I'm live on Rumble, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and... yes, I think that's all of them.
Their tracks. It's going to be North Florida one day, Tampa the next. Now they're showing more Sarasota, Charlotte County area, so we were down there. But I think that this is going to be a major event. You're going to have really significant storm surge, and one of the things that's going to be difficult is once it makes land.
Are you guys ready for the entire left corporate media and their push to try to make it seem like this is what they'll do with this hurricane, is that if anything bad happens, they'll blame DeSantis, and if anything good happens, they'll praise anybody other than him. They'll just say it's the people, it's the mayor. They'll never, ever give praise to him whatsoever. Oh, yeah, boarded up beer on ice. Hey, good man. Good man. What kind of beer are we talking about, brother?
Fall, it's going to slow down and really kind of crawl, but that's going to dump an inordinate amount of rain. And so you're looking at, yes, a powerful hurricane, but a lot of surge and a lot of water, which is going to cause a lot of flooding.
And when we think about these conditions, especially that flooding, I'm thinking about the vulnerable communities. Is there a contingency plan in place for people in nursing homes or people who...
You went with Bud, man? Are you a Bud guy? I just feel like I don't want to drink. I don't want that to be the last beer I drink if I die.
Feel like they can't afford to evacuate.
Oh, well, there have been medical evacuations starting this weekend in places like Tampa, where you have medically vulnerable people that are evacuated into more secure environments. Fortunately, though, you look at a place like Southwest Florida, a lot of those ALFs and nursing homes are on higher ground. They are built to withstand hurricanes. One of the things, though, that we require in Florida is 100% of the facilities have to have backup power, because you have a lot of medically dependent seniors. The structure's fine. They can keep them safe from the storm, but they need to have power, and so they are required to have generators, and right now 100% of them are reporting that they have that.
Governor, I know we've been talking about this, but what is your message for people here today?
Tiger Man says no drinking until the wind kicks up to 2 miles an hour.
Well, take the precautions to protect yourself and your family. This Mother Nature is a very fearsome adversary, and it's not something that you want to test. You know, they talk about hiding from wind, but running from water. And so when you have massive storm surge that could make 10, 12 feet, that is something that is life-threatening, and you got to take it seriously. And I think having talked to a lot of the folks in various counties along the Gulf Coast, you know, most people are taking it very seriously, which is a good thing.
By the way,
that is absolutely a great thing. So thank you for joining us, Governor. Live in Tallahassee, guys. Back to you.
All right, next story as we continue down the pipe of stuff. Of course. You know, the Democrats, everything's political, you know, even like a hurricane, you know, like something we're not in control of whatsoever unless you're Bill Gates. Hi, hello, what's up? I hide from wind daily. Why are you like 10 pounds or something? You're just like a twig. But of course, everything's political. So here's Amy Klobuchar basically saying, hey, vote for Democrats. Hey, you won't have to worry about hurricanes.
We just did something about climate change for the first time in decades. That's why we've got to win this as that hurricane bears down on Florida. We got to win in the midterms. We understand that. We just did something about climate change.
We got to win in the midterms, because if we don't win in the midterms, there will be more hurricanes and more death. It'll be a winter of hurricanes and destruction. Fragile snowflake, am I? Fragile snowflake, am I? That's so stupid. Sorry. Don't ever forget when Biden told the American people that if you get the best way to prepare for hurricane season is to get vaccinated. Praise God for that. Let's never forget this moment.
Let me be clear. If you're in a state where hurricanes often strike, like Florida or the Gulf Coast or into Texas, a vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now.
Amen. Get vaccinated right now. There is no better way to prepare for a hurricane than being vaccinated. Okay? Get it. God. Let's never forget how insane our lives were during the peak of the pandemic. Hey, Find It, Fix It, what up?
If you're in a state where hurricanes often strike, like Florida or the Gulf Coast or into Texas, a vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now. Everything is more complicated if you're not vaccinated and a hurricane or a natural disaster hits.
That's so true.
If you're in a state where hurricanes often strike,
like if Censor Mom, what up? Yeah, I mean, if you've ever been in a hurricane and the wind is a-blowing, there's no better security out there than knowing that you're vaccinated. I mean, I've been in hurricanes and I've been worried that my house was going to get, torn to shreds. But with the kind of security that you get from a vaccination, you can't put a price on that. You truly can't. And I thank Pfizer every day for me being alive. I thank them. I light my candles to them every single morning. I just thank them for what they give to me. Amen. It is gonna save me from the hurricane. Yeah, just look how much it helped him. Oh my gosh, so true. I contracted it instead of Joe, probably just a Jabberwocky. Who did stay home. Oh gosh, let's never forget how insane. But again, here's the FEMA Bay. Is there anything better than somebody wearing a vest? It's like, it's not cold where you are. What are you doing? I'm freezing in DC. I'm used to that Florida weather. But here is FEMA talking about our petroleum reserve. Because, I know that Biden wants to do everything he can to lower gas prices, like getting rid of our emergency supply. But this is kind of why you have an emergency supply. Wouldn't you say so? Cords on Rumble says they should be more concerned about the effects of the hurricane have on the stock market and the oil industry. Well, there you go. Here's a perfect segue to that chat on Rumble. Here we go. Here. Get your fleece on. All right.
The Strategic Petroleum Reserve is at the lowest level since 37 years, and you said you've set aside some gas for Florida. Is there a concern that the reserve is not high enough now to handle the aftermath of this emergency and other hurricanes that could come?
I don't have any concerns at this point that we're going to have the ability to handle the fuel needs that we're going to need in Florida. We will continue to assess after the storm passes to see what the impacts are. We'll make sure that we're putting measures in place to support any gaps that we might identify.
The season, you think you're covered?
It all depends on what the impacts from this storm might bring, and so we need to do those assessments after the storm passes.
Okay, that was a whole nothing burger. I thought that would be more interesting than it was. All right. As we start to go down to the cringe of the day, as I like to say, Derek, are you drinking a wine cooler? What happened to your Pellegrino? I know. Look, I can only drink Pellegrino so often. I'm drinking a Smirnoff Ice. I'm just kidding. I'm drinking Richard's sparkling rainwater. Who doesn't love Dick rainwater? Richard. I'm always drinking sparkling water up in here. It's just my vibe. Nothing's better than staying hydrated. Thank you, Sensor Mom. Appreciate you. But yeah, no wine coolers for me. I think I've had maybe one wine cooler my whole life, and I think it was when I was 18. And my friend, when you're 18 and you're trying to go to a party, you just whatever is available, that's what you're consuming. Because it's illegal. Tiger Man says, when the winds hit around 80 miles an hour, you really can feel your hair stand up and wonder what the hell you were thinking staying put. Ugh, dude. I went through a Category 3 hurricane, and it was a little freaky at some points. I remember when the eye went over my house. That was like one of the coolest moments of my life, because I've never seen an eye of a storm, and you could just see it perfectly over my neighborhood, which was mind-blowing. But I don't know. It wasn't that bad. As long as you don't go outside and try to look at it, you stay put and just freaking play some Monopoly, Get in a fight with your family. Just don't go through a hurricane alone. That's boring, because you don't have electricity, and the books get boring after a while. You're like, I'm going to read. But then staying in your home and there's no electricity and no AC, that stuff starts to wear down at you after a while. Oh, by the way, I have a new character. It's me. Hello. It's me. But speaking of insane, all right, I think, can we all agree that New York is kind of a hellhole right now? Oh, and gators. Oh, good call, Tiger Censor. Mom. Can we all agree right now that New York is a bit of a hellhole? And so the fact that Mayor Eric Adams came out today and started talking trash about other places when you got so many problems is just ridiculous. Hey, but it's a New York attitude, all right? Go F yourself. Don't forget about it, okay? Okay, but here is Eric Adams today just deciding, I know things are bad in our neck of the woods, but we're going to go after who?
We have a brand. New York has a brand.
Yeah, we have a brand. Hey, we're New York. We're tough. We have overpriced apartments, 600 square feet for $5,000 a month, and the best water known to man. Nobody can make bagels like us. He's like an evil character from Gotham. It certainly seems like it. I'm from Yonkers. Slap him with a dinky and a Danish. Dude, good. But he goes on, hey, we're from New York. We have a brand. God. Imagine having a brand for your city. Hey, we're from New York. Hey, come on, forget about it. It's just so disingenuous and just all for show. Look at him with his glasses. I like that like the Democrats love their aviator glasses like Biden and Eric Adams. Eric Adams is Biden 2.0. He's like, hey, look at me and my aviators. Are you a pilot? Hey, forget about it. Cord says, my 6-year-old brother is going to a Ween concert. Hey, I just saw Ween not too long ago. I went to the South Park 50th anniversary. That was one of the best experiences of my life. Going to the Ween concert in New York on Halloween, that would be fun. I saw them with Ween. He gets paid in Bitcoin, not too sketchy. Hey, censored, Mom. Forget about it. Peanut butter break. But here's Eric Adams. We got a brand.
New York has a brand. And when people see it, it means something.
Yeah.
You know, when we go there, it's not, Kansas doesn't have a brand.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Kansas sucks. Kansas sucks. We have crime here. People get shot. What does Kansas have, huh? Forget about it. Yeah.
When you go there, okay, you're from Kansas. No. Well, you know what?
You know what I'm saying.
But New York has a brand. Yeah. It has a brand.
Yeah, what is Kansas anyways? I mean, what is it? And then who decided to speak up? Who decided to lose their minds? Oh, Dr. Roger Marshall, who's obviously from Kansas. Kansas has Kansas City wheat. Jayhawk basketball, Kansas City beef, and Wizard of Oz. What's New York have? Violence, murder, homelessness, and high taxes. I'll take Kansas any day. And then Kansas men's basketball team, even Kansas, the school basketball team, throws some shade. I mean, what is Kansas? I mean, the arrogance. Your city's in ruins. The people that I know that used to live in Florida, in New York, now do not live there due to the crime, high taxes, how much they were paying, and the handling of the COVID pandemic, and the arrogance it takes. But this is what they think of Middle America. This is why, like the idea of national divorce isn't that big of an idea, because the idea that someone from like him and then someone from Kansas is voting for the same thing, it's just so silly at this point. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, he's like, hey, what's Kansas say anyways, huh? God, it's so stupid. What an unnecessary middle finger to Kansas. I know. It's rude New Yorkers. Hey, forget about it, sense of mom. Rotten apple. Distant Kansas. Take me to land, understand. Oh, it's just so weird. I mean, like, why? Why?
We have a brand. New York has a brand. And when people see it, it means something. You know, when we go there.
Hey, Papa. Kansas brought us carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are.
It's not. Kansas doesn't have a brand.
Hey, what's Kansas?
You know, when you go there, okay, you're from Kansas. No. Well, you know what?
Yeah. Kansas don't have no brand. What happens in Kansas? Tornadoes? I mean, come on. It's just so stupid. They move to places like Texas and Florida and wonder why people want to leave. Exactly. Pea-smelling subways and bums on every... Dude, oh my gosh. When I lived in Chicago, I know it's not New York, but when I used to ride the L, it just smelled like pee all the time. And I'm sure New York subways is much the same. Is Kansas City barbecue from Kansas? I don't know if it's from Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas. Kansas City barbecue's overrated. Texas barbecue and Carolina barbecue is where it's at. I like Memphis barbecue. I'll put those three on the map. New Yorkers are spreading a disease and no one wants it. I know. You had Kathy Hochul just like what was it? Last month she was saying she wants everyone to move to Florida because we don't want Floridians up here, or Republicans up here, because they're not New Yorkers. I mean, it was something like that. It was something like over the top, and here's Eric Adams doing the same thing. It's like, Of course, this is your move because your city's destroying itself right now, and instead of actually fixing it, it's time for a political stunt. Hey, I thought Democrats didn't do political stunts. Hey, we hate Kansas. The BART in San Francisco had a pleasant aroma and puke and urine. Gross, dude. It's just why? But it makes sense. The Democrats, they do everything they can to not fix their problems and just go after people and attack people because it's all about power for them. I want to party with Kansas. Oh, dude, me too. Me and you. Let's go find some Kansas Topeka, Kansas. Nothing wrong with Kansas. Driven through it a few times. It's not the prettiest state. I will say that. It's not the prettiest state, but doesn't mean it ain't no good people. And plus, hey, if you think there's a housing crisis, go to Kansas. I'm sure you can find some cheap housing there. But let's go back to our insanity. I just thought I had to laugh for a second. It's flat. Oh my God, it's beyond flat. It is beyond flat. Let's go back to, did Joe Biden call Ron DeSantis about the hurricane? Because I'm told I'm down your I'm not paying. You paying. Back to Raggedy Ann. I'm told that Joe Biden wants to bring people together and is bringing about unity and peace, as we'll get to a clip later in the day. All transit in major cities is horrible, and the powers that be think it's progress. Smell the aromas. Oh, they think it's none of them actually ride these things. Yeah, they'll have like a political stunt. Well, they'll ride it for like one time out of the year. It's like the one time the mayor rides the subway. He's like, hey, look at me. I'm a New Yorker. I'm riding the subway. It's the same thing. It's the same with like Lori Lightfoot. She would never be caught on a Chicago L. Ever. Especially at night. Like, because you'd be insane to do that. But of course they push it. They're just like, we got to have this. But of course it's government running, and it smells like crap, it looks like crap, runs like crap, and constant crime within the subway in those areas. The powers that be don't ride public. No, why would they do that? It's the same thing as like, it's all climate change activists. They all have private jets, or they have multiple properties on beaches, as they tell you that the sea waters are rising. And they're like, yeah, sea waters are rising. I'm going to be buying that beachfront property, though. Okay? For millions of dollars. Because I believe in what I'm selling. Okay. Right. All right, but here's Jean Karine Abdul-Jabbar finally telling us, did they actually have a conversation? When Bart goes to the Trans Bay Tunnel, you're trapped for 7 minutes. There you go.
The FEMA Administrator and I just came out of the Oval Office, where the President also held separate calls with Mayor Jane Castor of Tampa, Mayor Ken Welch of St. Petersburg, and Mayor Frank Hibbard of Clearwater. They discussed planning and preparation for Hurricane Ian. The administrator is going to give a little bit more of our conversation in just a moment. The President underscored his commitment to the people of Florida.
Except for if you're a Republican, apparently. We will contact Democratic mayors, but dear God, don't make us talk to Ron DeSantis. Cannot talk with that man. Absolutely not. Keep going, though. Keep going, Bay.
And made clear that impacted communities will have the full support of the federal government to augment state and local emergency response efforts, and emphasize the importance of encouraging families to heed evacuation orders. There will be a full readout of the calls later today in just a moment. But again, the administrator will
get out of there, Tiger Man.
Bit of that readout. The FEMA Administrator and I just came out of the Oval Office.
Again, Biden constantly talks about unity and bringing people together and stuff like that, and he just doesn't do it. It's amazing how many people are shills for him and will just say that he is, but he's clearly not. And so somebody asked the FEMA administrator, why didn't Biden call Ron DeSantis, and I'm sure she'll have no answer, but at least somebody's asking the obvious questions. Why not call the governor?
Just to follow up.
Papa says, dude, you called Kareem Abdul Jean Pereira Jabbar Bay. I think someone needs a nap. I know. Look, I had a long day at work. I worked out, and I am just like, you know when you're at the end of your day and you're like, I don't know if I have energy, but this is my dream job. This job right here, this thing right here, this is my freaking dream. I would love to do this and make great content for you all the time. So I'm going to give it my all. I will give it my all, even if I'm at death's bed. I will do what it takes in order for you to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Because the White House operates in a mayoral level, corrupt. Of course, censor mom, 100%. Bring those comments in. All three mayors are Democrats. You know it, dude. You know it. And this is what civility looks like, Tiger Man. What are you talking about, bro? This is civility. This is peace. Biden says he's bringing about peace to politics. He is, like he said on the 60 Minutes interview, people are just name calling and stuff these days. He doesn't get it. There was a time when he used to be able to talk to Republicans, and I don't know what's gone wrong. I just don't get it. And you're like, have you not listened to anything you've said? Do you not know what you say? Probably not. And how dare you say that? That's freaking racist. Oh my God. Dude, if you're on deathbed, I don't expect you to do a live stream, but I do expect no less than 10 shorts. Oh God, freaking shorts, dude. They're like the death of me. I don't mind doing shorts. I like some of them, but like YouTube is like, hey, you want to grow on our platform? You're going to do shorts and you're going to like it. We're going to make YouTube TikTok right now. I'm sure there'll be extended voting. Oh, dude. Great call. Of course. Cord says, here we are now. Entertain us. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to entertain you, man. Oh, gotta fix my camera. Oh, you see jackets? Oh, man. Oh, hey, man. I'm trying to entertain. I'm trying to do it best I think. Make sure to buy my new vitamin. My vitamins, my new supplement. It's got me skinnier than ever. I look better than I've ever. All my friends say that I'm looking really good. But I'm looking fine as you know what. Whoa, we got a new chatter. Hello, D. Looney's slit. I don't even know if I said that right. It's funny that Biden thinks a vaccine, the blank, blank, blank helps everything. Saying getting in the blank. And I hate that I have to be freaking like, I hate the free society we live in on YouTube. The help with the hurricanes. Is he high? Yeah, I think he's high. Yes, he is. He is high. Well, back to work. Thanks for the hey, take it easy. All right, as we continue down the road, as FEMA administrators asked why Biden did not personally call Ron DeSantis, and I think you and I, with two brain cells, can freaking answer this question, because it's Ron DeSantis, and he is scared of him. He is like, I swear Biden is like praying that Ron DeSantis never runs, and the whole Democratic Party is, because he's the most normal human being that has ever been in politics. He just seems normal. He doesn't seem like he's all about his talking points. So I don't know what to do with those kind of people. When people don't have talking points and can just, like my show, I'm not going to have talking points. I don't give a crap about talking points. It's just me being brutally honest. No one's giving me a script of things to say. And you and I can both feel and know when someone has been given talking points, because they will repeat the same lines. Like when Biden says, what are you shooting deer with Kevlar vests? And you're like, what is that line? No one says that in real life. Why do people think these people are genuine? They're not genuine. They're just freaking robots. And they'll say and do whatever it takes in order for you to vote for them. Like, it's just so little. To make it a little easier, say my username DLooney is lit. Oh, okay, I see it now. DLooney is lit. I made it up 5 years ago. Okay, I love it. I was like, DLooney slit. I was like, is that like a suicide joke or something? I didn't know what that was. All right, well, FEMA director.
Just to follow up.
I just want to return to what Peter had asked about Governor DeSantis. In the past.
Sorry, this is literally as loud as I can take it. I will put my mic on mute so you don't hear me scream. If you turn your, if you want to turn your speakers up.
Just to follow up.
I just want to return to what Peter had asked about Governor DeSantis. In the past, President Biden, has made calls to governors in situations of natural disasters. Kay Ivey in Alabama, or Asa Hutchinson in Arkansas, or the governor in Texas. Is there any? Can you articulate, I guess, how those determinations are made and why it hasn't been made in this case to have the president call the governor?
Yeah, the president is very focused on making sure that the federal family has the right resources available to support this. That is why I contacted the governor right away, and we have a team of my senior leadership that are embedded with the governor to make sure that we're supporting that. Our focus today is making sure that we have the right measures in place to support the life-saving activities that need to happen. Any conversations afterwards will need to be, we need to see what the damages are.
But he's made conversations with the mayors, so is there any reason why not the governor?
Again, we have a strong team that's in place supporting the governor right now, working side by side with him and his staff. We'll continue to stay engaged with him.
I'm back. Just in case you want to turn your volume back down. Oh, she's a good little politician, isn't she? Bureaucrats and fleece are here to save you. Hey, get your fleece. I thought fleece was like a Silicon Valley thing. But of course, even the FEMA director is like, hey, please don't talk to me about politics. We're doing everything we can, except for talk to the governor of the state, because we're all about civility and unity. But I got live news going on just in case anything exciting happens with Hurricane Ann.
Said don't get on Santa's list, and they updated it for
who's this guy?
The shop sells Christmas decorations, and it relies on the few months leading up to the holiday for most of its sales.
Well,
I freaking love local news. It's so bad it's good.
Short season. If the building in the
all right, as we continue down the line, we have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is wanted to make a statement saying Biden is his priority is making the economy work for everyone. Do you feel like the economy is working for you? And if you do, it's because you're rich.
You might hear him say that in just a little bit, how he has worked towards to make sure that the economy works for everyone and not to leave anyone behind. You might hear him say
working towards everyone, not leaving anyone behind. What a lie. Oh, God. I just can't with these people. They're just so much. The economy is bright. Yes. Yeah. Has anybody looked at the stock market in a while? I know the stock market is not necessarily the best indicator of what's going on in the economy, but it's definitely one of the indicators, and it is taking a nosedive. Make sure to put your money in the S&P 500. As we continue down the line of things to listen to, I don't know if this is a good clip or not. It's Sharon freaking Osbourne talking about the woke. It's down 7.3 trillion. Exactly. Sharon Osbourne. As we continue, but I have so many. I still have a good amount of clips left over. Oh, and we're getting into the woke territory. We're getting into we're going to talk about some of the kids leaving, and we have some more Gene, but and I'll occasionally check on local news just in case. And this is live, just in case.
About that hurricane moving over into a Category 4. Andrew.
All right, Ashley Soriano, stay safe.
Stay safe. All right, here we go. This might be good. This might be bad. Why are they so bad with words? Chords, I don't know, man. Or woman. I'm not sure if you're a man or woman. I don't want to misgender you. All right,
what was that like with people you worked with? Exactly.
Do you remember when Sharon Osbourne got like kind of canceled because of things that she said in the past? Is there? It's amazing all these people that are just so perfect that they are perfect.
What was that like with people you worked with, executives you knew, really kind of stabbed you in the back and kind of set you up? How'd that make you feel?
Angry. I was pissed off and angry at the same time hurt with my co-host because especially one of the ladies I thought was a friend of mine. I sat next to her for 10.5 years and I thought she was my friend.
You know, the amazing part of it is that you were in the crosshairs at CBS when it wasn't your fight. You were simply saying that Piers Morgan had the right to express his opinion.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden...
Right. The whole... Now I'm remembering it. I was like, I thought I remembered what it was all about, but now that I hear her talking about Piers Morgan, that's right. Okay.
You were called out.
Because they said he was a racist, but then I said, where? What has he written? What has he ever said that's racist? And they couldn't come up with anything. And their excuse was
welcome to the channel.
Because Meghan Markle was a woman of color, he must be a racist.
Welcome to the channel.
To say she was lying. Only a
Looney
racist
lit
would do
boy.
And what about the underlying issue that he says she was lying about? What was it, that she was married before?
There were 17 comments that she made that were all proven true later. And so it was, I was sticking up for my friend, who is a journalist. He has...
Can we talk about the plastic surgery on this woman's face? Dear God. I mean, she looks like a skeleton with hair.
I think you're the only one that's ever stuck up for Piers Morgan, so congratulations.
I was wondering if looking back,
this is kind of boring, isn't it?
24 hours, or even in your initial feelings,
am I the only one that thinks
if
this
you
is
had
boring?
to do it over again, if you had to go through it again, would you react differently? Would you have advice for people who are worried that this might happen to them?
Yeah.
This might be good. I mean, I think it's important to know, like, on the other side of a cancellation, how people will react. Crow, what's up? Have you seen the clip of Drew Barrymore walking in the rain and saying that she's racist? Oh, yes. Yeah, man. When you have the chance, get in the rain. Why? Because she's taking black spaces or black content creator spaces. I don't know. It was some woman on TikTok. It was, you know, if you look for racism in everything, you'll see racism in everything. It's just like right now. As I look at what's her? Is it Perino? I can't remember. She's only wearing blonde, probably rich. Dad had a lot of money. I'm curious how she would handle this differently.
Would have absolutely.
And Jesse, I'm speaking about him.
I'm going to write this down. Speak slowly so I can take notes.
I'll give you the notes. Okay, number one, I would have looked into the camera and I would have said, this was never rehearsed. This was not the show I was told I was going to do this morning. You are setting me up and I'm now leaving. But my head was like, I was in like, what's going on here? What's going on? And I was in.
Oh, dear God. She is boring. I'm not watching this anymore. I thought this was actually being interesting. Yeah, people turned racist when they said that it wasn't racist. People turn thing racist when what they said wasn't racist at all. Oh, dude, of course. Well, because we have a narcissistic society where everyone thinks everything is about them, they will find a way to turn it onto themselves. Just last week, we were watching The View, and was it last week? It might have been, yeah, it was last week. And they were talking about the Iranian protests of women taking off their headscarves and stuff like that and wanting freedom. And then they started talking about how it's just like women today in America that aren't allowed abortions. And you're like, what are you freaking talking about? We just have an entire culture that like is like, oh my God, everyone needs to look at me at all times. And it just takes away from the actual victims of racism, actual victims of like hurtful things. It's just now it's like when you call somebody a racist, it makes me feel like they're probably the farthest from racist. Like, it makes me feel like they're actually probably cool people. Like, but in the 90s when you heard somebody was racist, you were like, oh God, ugh, sick, disgusting. Just because she's not on The View anymore doesn't mean she does. Doesn't mean she's any more interesting. That's so true. I don't know why do they bring these people on Fox sometimes? I'm like, what's going on? Who really cares about Sharon Osbourne? I mean your husband's pretty cool, but you? It's me, Sharon. Boring. But not everything's about Florida today. As a reminder, there is something still happening on our border that Democrats and people in corporate media are pretending isn't real. And they all want to make it to be Martha's Vineyard. But here's another update about what's happening at the border. Again, you have all these poor communities like Eagle Pass and stuff like that are swamped with this issue, that have small funds by the government because they're small entities. And they're expected to just handle the burden. Take it on. Deal with it, bro. It's happening, okay? Forget about it. We're from New York. This isn't Kansas.
That the Republicans and the Democrats get together and work to fix this problem. Let's work.
Oh, what an ignorant man. Democrats and Republicans getting together to fix a problem. These things never happen. This is what politics is at its finest. You need to have talking points. You need to have a bad guy. And if you have a bad guy and you can point across the aisle, you don't have to fix anything. You can just constantly say what the other side is doing to the other side. And therefore, nothing gets fixed ever. And then you and I lose out in the end, always, until we start to wake up. Instead of turning our gaze on one another, we turn our gaze onto the politicians and the lack of empathy and the lack of work they actually do to make our lives better. Then things will actually change. But we're so obsessed with pointing the finger, and I'm not saying us. For right now, it's really the left that's really going after this ultra MAGA boogeyman, whatever that is, ultra MAGA, and this whole thing of white supremacy, white supremacists everywhere, when I've never met a freaking white supremacist in my life. But I digress. Please, border update. Thanks. Texas, Eagle Pass, go.
Democrats get together and work to fix this problem. Let's work to help the people of the United States.
Also on the ground dealing with all of this are our sheriffs and our mayors. Douglas Nichols, mayor of Yuma, Arizona, welcome. Mark Daniels, sheriff of Cochise County, Arizona, welcome to you. Sheriff Daniels, I'm going to start with you and just talk to me about fairness, unfairness for the people who come to the United States legally and what we're seeing now.
Well, let me, Harris, thank you for having me on the show. And listening to your show here and the people talking about what's going on the border, this is intellectual avoidance with intended consequences by this administration. Failure to recognize, engage, and act has resulted in humanitarian failures on our southern border. We see people coming across our border. Look at the last 19 months, 5 million came across the border, 1 million gotaways, 1,000 deaths at the hands of this administration who failed to lead this country, this border. As a result of this, those that are coming across the border illegally by thousands, hundreds are coming across at the hands of the cartels. What a crying shame, Harris.
A crying shame indeed. In Arizona, are you hoping that you get to do some of the things that they're doing in Texas for their Governor Abbott? I mean, the Operation Lone Star with ground authorities, state authorities going after people instead of handing them over to the federal government and having them released in the United States. A quick word on that, and then I'll move to the mayor.
Harris, we're doing quite a bit here in Cochise County. We're pushing 900 people for state crimes, for border-related crimes here in Cochise County itself. 325 victims of crimes have been identified here since January. We'll continue to push this. Arizona leads the nation in fentanyl seizures for dosages. We'll continue to do our part when the absent the federal government and this administration, Congress, they need to engage. They need to lead this. This is a nation's problem, not just a border problem.
Mayor, I found something out, and these were the words that President Biden spoke throughout his 2020 presidential campaign regarding the construction of a U.S.-Mexico border wall. He said, "Not another foot." But on a Thursday in July, President Biden rather quietly approved a plan to complete a section of the border wall near Yuma, Arizona. What did he see? What did he hear where he thought he would then put back some of President Trump's border wall?
Well, the secretary, and by the way, Harris, thanks for having me on, but the secretary came and visited, and when the secretary saw how blatantly obvious it is that there people were moving through the border completely unimpeded.
Cord says on Rumble, Kari Lake will shut down the border in Arizona. I freaking hope so, man. I hope she isn't as I hope she's as real as she says she is, and I think time will tell. You know, it's always hard when politicians speak well and then they get in the office and then nothing happens. Like, I'm here to drain the swamp, and you're like, all right, drain it, and they're like, it's kind of hard. So I hope Kari Lake is as real as she is, because man, she says the right things. So go ahead, girl. And I know that's your girl because you're Arizona. Keep it up.
And that a simple barrier would at least control that flow and make the job easier for his men and women. I think that's where that conversation started with the administration, because otherwise the president had never shown any sort of care or indication that there was anything being looked into.
Well, he ran on the opposite.
Screen recording,
so look, in Yuma,
videos.
Arizona, you got a bit of a border wall. Actually, you're the perfect person for me to ask. What's the difference between a primary and a secondary? Because I was reading where they consider if you just park your car along, like a few cars along, that's a secondary border wall.
Right. So the primary would be the 30-foot high, fully armored fence
that
full
Trump
of concrete.
put in.
Secondary could. Correct. And the secondary is also part of that same project, but it's there's a lot less of that up, and it's really more of in the area that's more active, like against the cities in Mexico, so that if there's a standoff distance, and Border Patrol has an ability to operate within there without having to chase further into the country for apprehensions.
I'm going to ask the follow-up about fairness versus unfairness with what we have going on. There are millions of people who came here the right way. Now there are millions more people who came here the wrong way, but they're giving themselves up, so they get a pass.
Yeah, that's completely unfair. And, you know, my community is 65% Hispanic.
That's not very equitable, is what he should have said.
And quite a few of those families can trace
you got to use their vocab against them.
Directly 1 or 2 generations back to when they crossed legally into the United States. And as a community, we're just really overwhelmingly supportive of border security, of the wall, of all those policies that make and force people to do it the right way. And because everyone, and we have a tradition of doing it the right way,
yes,
we want everyone else to do it the same way.
Sheriff, with just a few seconds, I want to...
That's like the most white supremacy statement I've ever heard.
Give you the last words.
Well, Harris, we need to enforce the rule of law. That's what we take an oath for, local, state, and federal.
Imagine if you break the law, you're treated as a criminal.
We've gone away.
I was watching the other day, I was watching Fox Business in the morning, and they were talking about this illegal migration, and the host called them criminals at one point, and then she corrected them herself. I was like, what are you doing? What are you afraid of? If you break the law, what do you call that person?
Away from the rule of law in Washington, D.C. We got to get it back. We got to look at our oath of office, and that
you break the law with the speed limit every day.
Number one priority in any oath of office is to protect citizens, protect our country. Right now, Washington, D.C. is not doing that.
Well, I heard something key from both of you, and
no, and again, I just want you guys to know that they're trying to approve another $1 billion to Ukraine as we speak. You can't make this up. These people are not concerned about your life. As we continue down the line, we have Pete Buttigieg, our transportation secretary, who is doing an absolute bang-up job when it comes to our airports and traffic controller problems. I don't know if you've been on an airport lately, but you probably were delayed. But here is Pete Buttigieg telling you, just buy an electric vehicle, you broke bastard.
includes EV credits to make electric vehicles more affordable, used as well as new. We're excited about that because, a lot of Americans could be saving a lot of money by owning an EV, but only if they could afford it. This makes it cheaper.
Yes. You buy that $67,000 electric vehicle, you broke bastard. Think of all the savings. You're like, oh, you're the one that's in charge of balancing the budget? You're the type of person in charge of that? A politician? Remember you ran for president at one point, and I'm supposed to trust you with balancing that budget? Just buy an EV? Do you know how money works? God. All right, as we continue down the line, I don't know if you knew this today, but apparently in Virginia, there was a lot of protests going out against Governor Youngkin's restrictions on transgender students. So here's our students' walkout. And when I was in high school, I did everything I could to be a part of any walkout or any protest possible. I remember, I think I walked out at one point for global warming at one point. Did I believe in it? No, I was getting out of class. But yes, of course, if it fits the narrative, we must have talked about it. And there's no sound. God. But here's the students at the walkout and the protest. Protesting restrictions on students' rights. Unbelievable. So there's the protest. And then here's Karine Doreen Abdul-Jabbar. She said this as well.
Virginia today walked out of their classroom to protest the governor's new guidelines restricting the rights of transgender students. Does the White House support these students?
So I haven't seen those reports, but this is a president that supports the LGBTQI plus community and has been supporting that community for some time now, as vice president, as senator, and certainly as president now. And he speaks always is proud to speak out against the mistreatment of that community. We believe, and he believes, transgender youth should be allowed to be able to go to school freely, to be able to express themselves freely.
I'm sorry, this is as loud as she talks.
To be able to have the protections that they need to be who they are. Again, I have not seen these reports, but we can say with all confidence, and you all know, have covered him for some time. When it comes to this community, he is a partner.
All right. So she said absolutely nothing, but let's get into some of the finer details because I think it's important. As Tom Elliott says, Rika Victor Lichter, who organized the walkouts over not being allowed to assume new genders without parents' consent, which is just insane. You should be forced to have parents' consent. These are children, all right? Like, the idea that a 16-year-old can mutilate their body and then they have to live with it the rest of their life is insane. It's absolutely insane. Or they can take drugs that might change their hormones the rest of their life, and what that comes with it in the future, we don't particularly know, but it's just crazy. We don't allow kids to buy alcohol, but you can do this stuff. There people that are for this kind of stuff do not study child psychology and do not understand things like brain development. When you're born, you are developing. You're not just who you are immediately. But here's MSNBC. Don't you just love them? Don't you just love them?
Tell us about these walkouts today. Do you think they delivered the...
I love this. Of course, she invites like a high schooler on to talk about the walkouts because these people are children. These people are ultimately children, and they would love children to run the world because they would follow in line because everything is based on emotion. Just do what feels good. If you want to do it, do it.
Tell us about these walkouts today. Do you think they delivered the message that you wanted them to send?
I think looking at social media, looking across the press that we've received today, I really think that we got the message across that we wanted to, which is Virginia students are not behind these proposed guidelines.
So what? You're a student, but continue. You can't even vote.
Governor Youngkin's team is telling NBC News in a statement partly that when parents are part of the process, schools will accommodate the requests of children and their families, adding parents should be a part of their children's lives. I wonder how you'd respond to that.
Of course, these proposed regulations are not about parental rights. If they really were about parental rights, then Governor Youngkin would be looking at things like expanding access to democracy in Virginia. This isn't about
Whoa. Expanding access to democracy? What does that even mean? We're talking about voting rights, idiot. What the frick, dude? This is why you don't have children run politics. This is why you don't have them create laws. This is why you don't go to them to understand how the world works. Krause says, what exactly, dude? What is she talking about? Of course she has her little narrative speak. I love it. I love MSNBC. Of course they invited her on. She fits. Will you say the right things for us? The statement alone solidifies why they shouldn't have children doing this. Exactly. Also, people that have common sense that work in public education would tell you that the idea a child is in control of all that kind of stuff, they would tell you that's insane, because I watch kids that age pick their nose and eat their boogers. All right. They are not upstanding human beings. There is still a lot of development that needs to happen, but continue down the line, Queen. She had a lack of spanking. She probably has parents that might be hurricane parents, and no pun intended, that want to make sure their child is okay. Are you okay? Everything okay? Everything's about you, so I just want to make sure you're okay. Is everything okay? I just want to make sure you're okay right now. Is everything okay? Everything okay?
Then Governor Youngkin would be looking at things like expanding access to democracy in Virginia. This isn't about parental rights. This is about attacking Virginia students. We also hear that Governor Youngkin...
She stops because she knows it was like, that was a clapping moment.
Youngkin doesn't think that students understand how harmful these policies can be. Countless students in Virginia have read these policies and understand that the real implications are not to protect the rights of parents, but instead to deny our identity, our humanity, and our very existence. Our goal is to ensure that every student can thrive in Virginia schools. But it's clear that the governor is not interested in students or in parents, just advancing his own political prospects in his next campaign.
She's a sophomore. A sophomore. Let that sink in. A sophomore. Gosh, she's going to be great for politics. I don't think they understand how harmful chemical castration. No, they don't. And I think that we don't even really understand a lot of the effects that'll happen to some of these kids that are like 40 and 50 years old later in life. I mean, or talk to any kid that detransitioned. I mean, I know you might say these are like rare circumstances. It doesn't matter. You still need to treat them the same. And you should be slow. If you're 18, you're out of the house, you're 21, whatever, do whatever you want. I don't care. But the fact that you're a child and then these people think that it's okay to go behind the parents' back and not consent, not tell their parents anything that's going on while they're completely underage to do a lot of things is insane. But this is a public school system. Just so you know, this is, their teachers are clapping this. This is what your tax dollars go to. So if you're against this, because you're a bigot.
Why did you feel it was important for you to put your energy and your time and your resources behind leading this charge?
So the most important thing that I want to emphasize is that these proposed regulations do not only affect trans and queer students, as you mentioned previously. It also allows denial of school counseling and necessary mental health supports while Virginia is in a state of mental health crisis. And I can tell you, as a student who I've dedicated my advocacy to educating other students and making sure that they can fight for their own rights, that this movement has been one of the most important actions I've ever taken in my work in advocacy.
I should mention what we're hearing from.
The fact that they're interviewing a child is just unbelievable. But here is our dear God president talking about how we need to figure out how to come together. You know, it's like, did you not hear yourself in the speeches just recently?
So God bless you all, and pray that we come figure out how to come together better than we have so far, because a lot of people's lives and futures depend upon it, and I'm confident, I'm absolutely confident we can get it done.
Well, Joe Biden, it starts with you not being such a douchebag. How about that? As we continue down the line, future politicians dancing around everything, actually answering the question while using big words that even Biden would understand. I know, exactly. Exactly. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed the Danish military releasing footage which shows the Baltic Sea frothing in the vicinity of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. There are a lot of conspiracy theories roaming around when it comes to this pipeline right now of like, why didn't Russia just shut it down? Why did the CIA put out information to Germany talking about that somebody might tamper with it? Later on, there are so many questions when it comes to this pipeline. But Danish people are screwed, man. They just recently came out with a statement saying that they are going to shut down their nuclear reactors, one of the main power sources, right before winter. What is going on? Let's check in on their local news.
They know the stakes are high and that the residents are very concerned. Our job is to protect you before, during, and after the storm. Yes, we will experience impacts, more than likely significant from Hurricane Ian, and we are ready to face them and respond accordingly very quickly. The hurricane is a Category 3 now and expected to strengthen on its approach. There is still uncertainty on the track, and it could shift again, but we are increasingly...
Deuces, Derek, when are you streaming next? Thursday. I will be streaming again Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out, bro.
Administrator Bonnie Wise has a major announcement.
All right, well, I got a couple videos left. Here's the Federal Reserve chair. I sound like that last guy talking. Federal Reserve chair. D-Looney lit. Okay, you back? Oh, what's up, man? Thanks for coming back. They're just doing updates. I keep checking on it. But here's our Federal Reserve Chair Powell. U.S. Central Bank digital currency is not going to be anonymous. Do not be a part of this. This is like the beginning stages of ESG in its finest. The U.S. government is going to start to have more roadblocks when it comes to ESG and your social credit score and shutting down stuff like financial stuff. What they do in China, like you speak out against the government, they have the capacity to take your money away from you. But our Federal Reserve is creating a digital currency. Much people have said like that's the whole point of Bitcoin. CIA operate, I don't know, whatever. But here it is. I just think this will be the end of the dollar, because once you have a digital currency, it's like, is money even real? At this point, you wonder anyways, by the amount of times they don't have to hit the print button anymore. They just press Control Enter.
We think that there are four characteristics of, if we were to pursue a CBDC, it would at a minimum have the following four characteristics. First is intermediated. Second is privacy protected. But third is identity verified. So it would not be anonymous. It would not be an anonymous bearer instrument. And fourth is... That's right. The government would be allowed to track you. Oh, you're buying ammo? You're buying guns? That's interesting. We're keeping track. Oh, you can't buy anything with cash anymore. Sucks for you. Is transferable or interoperable. So we would be looking to balance... It's incredible how many people like clap this kind of stuff, you know? Just like, oh, yeah. What do I have to be afraid of? Oh, I don't care if the government knows everything that's going on in my life. Yes, people like Edward Snowden who are whistleblowers or have to live in Russia the rest of their life. But, hey, the government is my friend. The government is for my best interests. And that's all that matters. So deal with it.
Together.
Let's check on Florida.
Please stay safe. Thank you.
Stay safe, Florida.
Thank you, Bonnie. I want to underscore what she just said.
Oh,
it's vital that you listen. To use us and evacuate.
All right. We'll finish with the last video before I finish it off with Russell Brand apparently being censored on YouTube. Of course. It was only a matter of time before this man was censored on YouTube, but welcome to the club. I'm on my 4th strike, so you will be fine, Russell Brand. I'm sure you'll be fine. Here we go.
We have been officially censored by YouTube. They took down one of our videos for misinformation. But why are big media organisations not censored for misinformation in the same way? Is it because YouTube are part of the mainstream media now? Earlier this month...
no, they're part of the conglomerate of people that agree on what is truth and what is fiction. And that has always been the problem of who gets to decide. That's why freedom of speech is so important. Because who gets to decide what is truth or what is okay to say or what is okay to talk about? Because then they have all the power. Then they can control. Then they can control the information. Then information won't get spread out like it normally has. Or you can't hold our people that are in power, that are in control of the information, in check. But I digress.
We did a video about the changing narratives around COVID, the pandemic, and COVID treatments, in which we cited information on official government websites, which we misinterpreted. I'll have to be careful talking about it now, because I don't want to make the same mistake that's had one of our videos pulled down and an official warning issued. The good news is...
Oh, he got his first warning. That's so adorable. I hope my family is safe. They live in Eastern Florida. If the government keeps putting out false info, and they might... Hey, man, I hope they are safe too, man. Yeah, keep them in. Make sure they tell them not to go outside and stuff like that. Are they able to leave Eastern Florida at all? I mean, I think Eastern Florida might be okay. We're in Eastern Florida because Florida is huge, bro. Are they like in Jacksonville area? Fort Lauderdale?
We're moving to Rumble. All of our content is up on Rumble first and we'll be...
Hey, me too. I'm on Rumble right now.
...streaming on Rumble every day. We have been persecuted for misinformation, and it's right. We have a responsibility to make sure that the information we convey is absolutely 100% as accurate as it possibly could be. In the mistaken video, we said that the NIH were recommending the use of... What we should have said is they're trialing... That's what we should have said. You pointed that out.
Oh, Fort Lauderdale. Actually, I know friends that are in hotels there. I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be fine. But you never know, man. Keep them in your prayers, brother.
To us, we made an apology video. We've taken that down as well. YouTube took down our original video. We've taken down the apology video because in case we reiterate the claim while apologizing for it. So both of those videos you can watch right now on Rumble. They're still live on Rumble. That's the reason we're joining them, because they're not going to censor our content.
Good for you, Russell.
And this misinformation strike and takedown demonstrates exactly what it is we're talking about. We made an error, in my opinion, a relatively small error, and we're being penalised. For me, that looks like censorship. And the reason I think it looks like censorship is because there's mainstream media misinformation up all the time.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the...
Oh, you're trying to get me off YouTube right now. I know it. I'm not going to finish this video. Son of a gun. I know they're trying to get rid of me. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys so much for joining me. It means so much to me that you take time on my day. D Looney's lit. Thank you so much. Cordell's on Rumble. Crowd, appreciate you. Tiger Man, thank you so much. Papa, thank you so much. Censor Mom, thank you so much. Hi Hat, Low Hat, thank you so much. God, there's so many. I appreciate you guys. I'm going live again on Thursday. I don't go live on Wednesday because I work with youth on Wednesday nights, so there's that. I'll probably have a video out though, so come check it out. I appreciate you guys so much. Have a great day. Enjoy your day. I appreciate every single one of you because you're the one that keeps me sane. You are. I'm talking to you right there. Have a great day. As always, hey, D Looney's lit, man. I appreciate you finding me too, man. I'm glad you found me too, man. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your day. Keep Tampa in prayers. People that you know in Tampa in their prayers. I hope that they'll be fine. I think they'll be okay. But you never know because hurricanes could just they're just so finicky. They're all over the place. But have a great day. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. Check out my videos. Share my videos. Tell your friends and family about the Derek O'Shea Show. I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.